There you
go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2020 Local Board of Equalization for the City of West Fargo. At this time, I'd like to call on our City Assessor, Mr. Nick Lee, for the 2020 Equalization Report.
All right. Good evening, Commissioners. Today you meet as the Local Board of Equalization in order to review the 2020 property assessments for the City of West Fargo. First, I'd like to thank everyone for their patience this year. The COVID-19 pandemic has forced our department, like many others, to quickly overhaul how we do business under these extraordinary circumstances. As you can imagine, COVID-19 restrictions have either slowed the process or restricted us from performing many of the steps necessary to thoroughly and accurately complete our duty. Fortunately, our office has the ability to address these values throughout the year, giving plenty of time for property owners and our staff to connect and each inquiry to get the full, thorough review it deserves. That being said, it's our obligation under Century Code to hold this meeting regardless of the circumstances, which is why we meet today. Additionally, in our discussions with property owners, there's been a lot of concerns about COVID-19 and the resulting economic ramifications, primarily how real estate values will respond to the pandemic. Be assured that our staff continues to monitor the real estate market diligently, ready to respond to any changes that take place in 2020. However, the real estate market for 2020 provides data of which we set values for in 2021, so any changes resulting from COVID-19 won't be applied until next year. The fact that we use last year's sales to produce current year values is something we have to remind the public every year. That being said, let's move on to the equalization report that was emailed out to all you, and it's linked for the public. As you've had some time to review our report, I'm just going to highlight a few statistics. If you look on page 5, our projected population increased 3% again this year to 39,064 people, which is a pretty impressive 42% increase in the last 10 years. New single-family permits dipped from last year 22%. However, the overall residential permit valuation was at a high not seen since 2014, and new multifamily unit permit numbers also exceeded levels not seen since 2014, increasing 109% in 1 year. Residential sales experienced a bump in the number of sales, 7%, and the median sale price increased slightly at 3%, as the average interest rate dropped 0.5%. Building permit valuations fluctuated. Residential was up 8%, and commercial was down 5%. Overall, it appears more higher value homes were built, driving up the value per permit, as well as more higher values homes were sold. All these facts display that 2019 had a pretty strong real estate market in our area. As far as our office goes, we were pretty busy in 2019. For residential property, our office completed the 3rd year of a scheduled 5-year mass appraisal review process. This process includes a desk review of each property, a mailed request to inspect, an internal inspection, if allowed, an on-site external inspection of over 2,000 properties. The yearly mass appraisal review process allows us to update our records on a consistent basis, ensure that our data doesn't get too outdated. It's our intention to keep current, accurate data on all properties, as this gives us the ability to confidently apply yearly market adjustments and should remove the need to do another citywide reappraisal. For commercial property, 2019 marked the implementation of a 5-year review cycle. We started with metal shops and storage buildings, as recent sales indicated they needed a review. Additionally, as we do every year, we also made adjustments to other property types as indicated by our recent sales. And for sales ratio this year, we had to use 3 years worth of prior year sales to meet the minimum 30 for the ratio. Assessment department functions are regulated by the North Dakota State Tax Commissioner as certified assessment officials. We are tasked with the responsibility to appraise all real property within our jurisdiction in a fair and equitable manner based on market value. For the 2019 sales study, the state of North Dakota has given us a median sale tolerance range of 90 to 100%. After adjustment, our ratios stand at 96 for commercial and residential, both within tolerance and acceptable to the state. Tonight, as a Board of Equalization, you're asked to hear any appeals from West Fargo property owners regarding their proposed 2020 values. Due to the online nature of this meeting, every property owner who received an increased notice or spoke to us was instructed if they wish to address the meeting at the board at this meeting, they're to hand over any appeal information in writing to us prior to the meeting so it could be handed out to you. We have forwarded these submissions to you along with our write-ups. Additionally, a list of property owners who have submitted an appeal prior to the meeting but whose appeal is still being worked on has been presented to you as well. They'll be recorded as submitting appeal at tonight's hearing, allowing them the option to appeal to the county if they so choose. As indicated previously, most of these appeals require us to verify their property information or in a holding pattern until COVID-19 restrictions are lifted. Finally, I'd just like to remind everyone that this board needs to discuss property valuation, not property taxes. Property tax amounts are a budgeting issue and should be addressed during the budget hearings. So if there's any questions from the board at this time, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, we can proceed to open the meeting for public input.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
None.
I would remind the public that the Board of Equalization is Commissioner Mark Simmons, Commissioner Eric Jurdovic, Commissioner Brad Olson, Commissioner Mike Thornton, and myself, Commissioner Bernie Douglas. The local Board of Equalization is concerned with the equity and the fairness of property tax. Property values, not taxes. Property tax amounts are a budgeting issue and should be addressed during the budgeting hearing. At this time, I will open it up to anyone that would like to speak with regard to their assessed property values.
At this time, Commission President Dardis, I'd like to report that we do not have any attendees on the call asking to provide feedback.
All right, to the public, again, we would say that if you have not contacted the city auditor prior to this meeting, or if you have questions or whatever, so they're working on having your work out, I would encourage you to reach out to City Assessor. What would be the appropriate time for us to sit in session here, waiting if there's anybody that can call in? Mr. Lee, do you have a suggestion?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
You have an idea of how long we might stay on the line in case anybody would like to voice their concern about their assessed values?
Oh, generally it's 10, 15 minutes kind of thing.
Mayor?
Commissioner Simmons.
Yeah, I guess I would suggest, Nick, that we put them all on the list and move them forward because we have to do that anyway.
Yep.
So I think the way we're doing this is probably difficult for people maybe to even get on. So I would make a motion if it would be okay if there's no other questions, just to put them all on the list and move them forward to the county.
I would call to the attention of the commissioners, excuse me one moment, Commissioner Simmons, that there have been 47 people that have reached out to our city assessor, Mr. Lee.
Mayor?
Commissioner.
Thank you. But I guess what I'm saying is this way they will all move forward so they're not being denied anything anyway. And then they're all protected.
Very good. So to approve the values as submitted by the city assessor on properties that were not appealed with authorization to review the properties on the appeal sheet with the resulting values sent to the county.
With all the people listed that did appeal, correct?
Yeah, all right. There is a motion. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Jurdovic. It's been moved and seconded to approve the values as submitted by the city assessor on properties that were not appealed with authorization to review the properties on the appeal sheet with the resulting values sent to the county. Is there any further discussion?
Sorry to interrupt, but there is one individual that appears is trying to talk. So with your permission, Commission President Dardis, I'd like to open it up and see if this is someone who's officially submitted an appeal.
Certainly.
Okay. The individual who was speaking before, are are you still on the line and do you want to provide comment? I'm showing that they've stopped speaking. So one more time, if you were on the line trying to speak and you'd like to provide comment. Okay. I don't see any more action. I apologize for interrupting.
Oh, that's just fine, Mrs. Richard. Question for you. Do you have that telephone number?
It's actually someone who is entered in under Nick's name. So I'm not sure if it was feedback from Nick or somebody had entered in with a special login. I just wanted to be sure.
All right, well, I appreciate that very much. Again, we have a motion and a second on the table. Is there any further discussion?
Mayor, one more discussion.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Melissa, this is probably for you. Make sure that when you do, I guess, however you're going to publish this, that everybody knows that did complain is moving forward. So nobody thinks they got knocked out because of all this.
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you. Commissioners, is there anything else that you'd like to have come before this meeting this evening?
Do we need to approve the minutes from last year's board meeting?
I don't have that on the agenda, Brad. I don't know that. Somebody else could help me, coach me on that. I'd appreciate it.
Commissioner Dardis, this is Courtney. There is an item on the agenda. Item number 2 is the approval of the minutes from the April 9th, 2019 Board of Equalization meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you, Courtney. Do I have a motion for the motion for the approval of the minutes of April 9th, 2019?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Olson. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Commissioner Jurdevig, second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the April 9th, 2019 meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Commissioners, is there anything else that you'd like to bring forth this evening? If not, the chair recognizes Mark Simmons for another motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a
And
second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Commissioner Olson seconds, I believe. It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Be safe.
You too.